if you want to follow my YouTube, we're almost at 100 subscribers. Running through my head, all the things she said, W streamer, Grace Petrie lyrics tattooed on me. You're so queer. I know Grace Petrie. I've met them. Like, yay. Yeah, I'm not feeling great, guys. My health condition that's really bad is back. I'm immediately, thanks to your help, everyone here's help as well, which if I speak about it again too much, I'll cry again. What platform is Poppy? This was tattooed. Oh, girl. Oh, girl. Okay, let's put on some... We need to put this on. Before we have the DSA activists later. So let's put some background tunes on. I'm not doing great. Like, my heart rate is like literally, I'm sat here because I'm sat up. I'm not even joking. Like, my heart rate now is about 160, as if I'm like running. Like, I feel really tremory. And it'll be that until I get remission. So look, today I promised you I'd be on video. I promised you motherfuckers you'd have a motherfucking... Oh my god, what's it called? What's my hair called again? Guys, help. See, I've got no brain. Fucking mullet drop. There we go. Jesus, mullet drop. Fucked it, lads. Fucked it, because I've got no fucking brain cells. But, I promised I'd do a mullet drop, so there you go. You are getting the mullet that's being grown in as well. I had to be given beta blockers for this shit. Yeah, I mean, it's also just that it won't go away until I've done the very intense autoimmune protocol, which has been quite intense this week, as well. So yeah, babes, we're going up in the world. Yeah, I got an interview with Zohran. Yeah. Absolutely. No, an activist from the campaign. That's right, bitches, you motherfuckers. Just pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you know, lads. Then the only way is up. Lactose free. Oh my god, what's this? Creamy UK garage two-step mix. Ooh. Huskadoo, welcome in, friend. You have to work on a Sunday. I'm so sorry. But thanks for popping in anyway. The VOD will be up, so never fear. Gay. I've worked 2 weeks straight. Oh my god, straight. That's appalling. And straight. So yeah, we have in 35 minutes. Ooh, thanks, Dumplank. Also, Dumplank, baby. Lovely to have you. I feel like that means you're lurking, bitch. Lovely to have you, babes. So folks, I've got my phone with me because I've got questions. I've spoken to the activists. They're really cool. We're going to talk about the successes and the victories. Look at this bitch on fucking chemo, and you can't kill me. You can't. My own body. That's me to my own immune system. You can't kill me, even though you're trying really fucking hard. Yes. Excuse me, I'm gonna pass out after that. This is all the energy I've got for you guys for a couple of days. The medicine is actually right. Yeah. I just come back like 5 times the size, just a giant muscle. Yeah, guys. Yeah. I have a autoimmune condition. Man, I wish I was lying about that. Sadly, I'm not. It's true. And yeah, I've been on combination chemo this week that is not as intense as the last one, but if it doesn't work, I'm gonna have to go intense as well. Just popped in to say thanks for the work you do. Thanks. You are more than welcome to stay. But if you have somewhere else to go, go have fun, whatever you're doing. We can have just a little bit of fun before folks come in and we begin the conversation as well. A drunk man in the street once threatened to unend me. And my depressed ass just kept walking and said, I've tried that, it's harder than you think. And bro was dumbfounded and the bouncers nearby were laughing. Socialism, no fun, no muscles, no muscles, just woke scolding. But yeah, this should be a real good fucking conversation. I'm excited for you folks to meet Citri. Thank you as well to Darth. Folks, Darth, you can shout yourself out, please. Darth is, or I'll shout you out. Darth is someone who's going to start streaming a bit as well. Very cool human being and has hooked me up with someone who was on the ground with the Zohran campaign. I spoke to them briefly recently and they seem super cool. They're not going to be like 100% glazer pilled, you know, like, this is it, brother. This was Mao. It's the end. You know, inshallah, Shakira Law is here. Game over, fucking liberals, we win. Like, no, they're gonna be super like very level-headed and talk about how we capitalize on this. And then for folks in Britbong land, which unfortunately oh god, I feel really sad saying this, I might cry. So my flight to Senegal that was booked when I was in remission was yesterday. And you were supposed to be with me in Senegal, today. But you're not. We're here. So, folks who are in the UK, probably in the Discord, I will host the Zoom if we want to have, like, a combined chat. I just don't think I've got it. Being on camera is more emotionally taxing and mentally taxing, particularly when you're sick, you know? When I'm in the mood for it, it's an absolute banger of a laugh. Hey, NTC. I have a great time, but I feel like, guys, I puked my guts out this week, you know? I've really... we're going to be back to Doggo, the PNG tuber, very soon. So keep this chiseled jawline in mind. Because it's going away again. Pniga. Hey, Cosmopolitics, how you doing, love? I know you and your fam have been in a bit of a shit situation, you and mum. So how's it going? Awesome. Okay. Thank you, NTC. Yeah, so it should be a good convo. Oh! No justice? Oh, fake drop. I don't have any relevant content. Shakira Law, baby. Shakira Law. Hey! Thanks. Always glad to free Palestine, free Ukraine. I mean, that one's a little bit more complicated, but let's leave it for now. No, not today, guys. Nope. I know where that's gonna go. Zohran Mondomi, the leader of the Power Rangers. Is it? I mean, I'm not so sure. Because I've heard Lib say it. But anyway, move on, please. I don't have the brain capacity to like even think. So, okay, Yankoid. Okay, so this person was doing this New York canvassing marathon, 200,000 doors to knock. Most doors knocked in a single day. The person who was speaking to was pretty integral in like this kind of stuff as well. Getting people out to vote. Yes. I'll give you a shouty. Hold on. This should work. Hopefully that works. Yeah, there we go. Okay, another banger by No Justice. Yankoid racists call all Muslims Arab in the way that ballers call all game consoles Nintendos. Open the fucking door! Open the fucking door, Cassie! Open the fucking door! An Arab Muslim is the next mayor of New York City. Blair. Who the fuck is Blair? I mean, that tracks spiritually Mexican. Or every single part of this person's profile, 100% tracks. Like, literal confirmed racist. I'm sorry, Taylor. I know there's the whole thing about pretending that she's gay when she has like a super misogynistic, problematic, racist piece of shit boyfriend and is a millionaire. But pop off, guys. Pop off. Make up queer icons. You know, cool. Sort your fucking self out, white women, okay? Sort your fucking self out. Yeah, it's her fucking thing about being like, oh, I'm like deviant. Like, fuck off. I'm here for messy bisexuals, not for this shit, okay? Isn't she a billionaire? Well, she very well may be as well. Socialism transcends borders, as it should do, should be like, you know, a brother, sisterhood, siblinghood of all human beings without it being weird. Oh wait, it's a Nazi. Yeah, all these white women keep on making these mistakes. Like, I mean, this is, to bring it back to Ukraine for a second, but this is like the kind of like media who were like, look at all these Nazis in Ukraine in 2015, and then they were like, nope, that's a ethnic tattoo in 2000 and, what was it, 22, 21, whenever the war happened. And it's like, hold on. No, I do think... Also, how many children died, like, in a mine? How many children died to to get this, you know? I mean, good luck, white women. I mean, I know I am one, and I apologize. I can only apologize for it. It was the slogan of the organization run by Bandera. I feel like it is, I mean, okay, fair. Darth is also Indian, so does not need to know the specifics of European wars either. Euro-Asian wars. I think she's been bouncing off that line, and she invested in tax breaks. And she invested in tax breaks. I meant donate to charity. Okay, got you. I was like, nah. See, guys, you gotta be super gentle with me at the moment. I am peak chemo brain, peak like fucked up. Let's play some dolls. But shouldn't be saying it. Fair enough. I have a power washer. It's the most fun cleaning ever. I do like it. Hi, Minty. The Irish are honorary Okay, dumb is brown. I didn't say that. I know. It's not your problem. I'm being serious when I'm saying you're like from India. You don't need to know the specifics of what's going on here. It's not in the way that I won't fully understand everything that's happening in your context, and that's fine. Don't worry. You have nothing to apologize for. That is a conversation my brain literally can't really just do right now. So, hi, Zoran wants to keep a New York Police Department commissioner, billionaire Zionist Jewish lady whose family donated to Kumo and is a vocal Israel supporter. Mandami is offering to retain commissioner concerns some long-term proponents. I'll see, grand designers, I'll see if I can bring this up. Commissioner to bring a status quo, because I know that there's... Where did I see it? Give me 1 second to bring something up. I've got something that where did I put it in? That might be connected to that might help me understand it. Hema, lovely to have you, babes. That's something Citri will clear up. Cool. Okay. I mean, I can bring it up. The person that we're having on is definitely not going to be like, from like the conversations I've had with them before, they're not going to be just spending their time here apologizing if there's something wrong. Don't worry. They're like, one of the first things they said to me is electoralism isn't enough. Like, this is a long battle and the battle's barely begun. And I'm like, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree. He claims she has a good track record fighting corruption, and that's a bullshit excuse. Fed. Well, no. Even if I'm willing to be a bit skeptical about this claim, but we don't call each other feds. I fucking hate that behavior, so please don't do that. Just say you don't agree with one another, please. Like, where do we get if you just call each other feds? Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. We get all feeling disempowered, all feeling shit. You know? Call me a fed. I don't fucking give a shit. Like, but like, don't call each other feds, please. Don't. Even though I'm a little skeptical of the claim as well. But accent roulette. Oh shit! I forgot I set this up. Wheel. You need to do more than just elect nice politicians. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty... Look, for me, it's a pretty symbolic victory in terms of it being connected to, I guess, the fact that it was a very vocal there was an anti-capitalist message within his campaigning, and he did really well. Another part is like the person that we're speaking to is Pakistani, I think. They're of Pakistani origin, so they're going to be able to tell us like there's other dimensions, like racial dimensions to the campaign, and the people that first supported Mandani that I don't know the specifics of, but they will be able to tell us, which is an important dimension of American and British, but in a different way, politics, right? And class politics everywhere. So that would be really good to understand, you know. We shouldn't be able to call out Fed behavior, though. I don't think it's not Fed behavior, it's shit behavior. Like, I just think, literally, if you think everything is controlled opposition apart from, like, the people in your Discord group that you're friends with, like, okay, like, I can't do anything to change that. I think that it's very important to be astute to the fact that feds are everywhere, including on this platform and including in the circles that you organize with. Like, don't be ignorant. It means a federal agent, so someone who is working for the State Department or for vested interests, you know, the capitalist government, but pretending to be something else. In this case, they're arguing, and I think incorrectly, It might just be that he's willing to make concessions in a way that we all disagree with. If this is what's happening, I'll bring it up. I don't know the context. I don't fuck with those. I mean, this is the point, Hema, though, and it's the key. We have no idea who they are. Like, I mean, it could be. Zohran could be a Fed. Who fucking knows, right? I don't think so, though. I don't think there's good evidence. And I think everyone being like, you're a Fed, Spider-Man meme. Where are you going to get with that? Where are you going to get with that conversation? You know? Like, nowhere. You just don't agree with each other. Learn how to develop your vocabulary beyond just, like, you're a Fed. You're a Fed. All I see is people all across the political aisle using it to deny having a conversation. Mandani is a fraud. You're perfect. I don't agree with you, but that's a perfectly fine statement in that you feel that he's going to sell out. And you're entitled to that. We'll have to see, you know, where things go. And I'm more than happy to bring it up. But just being like, yeah, Fed, it's a very tired, like, Fed kind of thing, you know. Give it time. Can we chill and appreciate the win? It sent shockwaves around the world and how the right is melting down. If he was a Fed, the right wouldn't be going this haywire. Wait, what? Doug, what the fuck you on about? He hasn't taken office yet, yeah. Sorry, let me get it. 3 words making the initials. Do you know what also has 3 initials? MI6. Exactly, folks. She got a mullet to try. Colonel, I've got a mullet to try and infiltrate the left-wing lesbian group. I've dressed like their people. So yeah, use your adult words, guys. Like, stop fucking saying that shit to each other. I expect better behavior from you all here. Femi6. But yeah, look, if this person is being, if Zohran Mandani has direct power, I'll bring this up in our convo, direct power over this appointee, and he's willing to make this concession, and this person has like a direct effect on policy and stuff, some kind of voting rights in the city, I think that that's a bad concession for him to make. And I think that's fair to say. It's kind of simple, really, you know. Do I think he's a sellout before he's begun? No. People are, like, I knew what would happen. People are coming in and, like, half of the chat, because I try and do the broad church thing, Big Tent thing, like, half of the people are like, yay, Zohran Mandani have won, and I feel positive, and then half of the people are like, no, Karl Marx said you're a Fed, and, like, no, and, like, both are kind of right in some ways, but what I'd say is, like, I'm gonna focus on the convo when I have the speaker in, because my brain is only operating at a slightly functional level as well today. I'll actually show you folks what I was up to yesterday and why I'm feeling so dizzy and shit today. One sec. Sorry, Hema. I was not paying attention to the news. The news is just that Zohran won. That's it. That's it. And people are already arguing about whether he's going to be a sellout or not. That's it. You want to put your article through the TTS app so you don't need to read? No, it's okay. Just be clear, you don't have to be a Fed to act like one. Like, what you do is the same as what a Fed would do. What's the difference? But you can still, like, take the time to communicate yourself. Like, Twitch is a different space than an activist space. Like, we're at a very particular public platform here, right? So calling each other, like, Fed on chat, it's just shitty behavior. Whereas if you had a genuine concern with someone that you were organizing with, let's say you had a concern and you're like, I think you're doing something that's suspect, that's a particular kind of conversation. That is just so different from these online spaces. Like, folks, just be fucking normal to each other. You like how the fuck? Like I'm happy. I'm happy Zoran won. I think that electoralism has a place amongst many other things in the pursuit for left-wing politics, socialist politics. Um, we will have to see. Nobody, including myself, knows what's going to happen. We'll have to see. America is the fucking belly of the beast. I've already said before, I think Zoran's domestic politics are good. His international politics are pretty shit. So, and it seems like this speaker is going to agree. I think, and I hope people fucking agree with this. I've seen some people be like, whatever, man, we just need for him to fail and then people will become communist. I think that's actually genuinely dangerous thinking. And I'll tell you for why. I'll tell you for why for free or for $5.99 and you subscribe to twitch.com/TV/lesbian hot sauce. Hell yeah, brother. It's the only time I've ever done that and that felt disgusting. I'm never doing it again. Has she shot her horse yet? Sorry, what? If Zoran fails, everyone will be like, look, I told you socialism was terrible. It doesn't, the nuance, normcore people don't give a fucking shit. Do not care. Normcore people don't care. This is bigger than us. This is bigger than us, folks. It's the same with us in your party in the UK. We have all this infighting. We're going to go into our own Discord and have our own British issues, right? Afterwards. I still fucking love Zara Sultana, even though I'm massively frustrated at things. And her getting a platform and being a member of parliament who's a fucking actually anti. Thank you, Giant Ewok. Shit, okay, I'm doing some push-ups for you. Will I? No, I'll do some squats for you. Okay. If he fails, it will just set us back. We have failing socialist. I know it's not socialist. Doesn't matter to normal people. Failing socialist politics in Britain, and we're just getting fascism, guys. So if I'm looking at evidence that's telling me the fucking dialectics of this time at the moment push people to reactionary politics at the extreme, and you're like, no, they need the perfect communism or nothing else, I'm telling you, I genuinely think that that's a dangerous way of thinking. Now, do I think we just do electoralism? No, that's not what I'm saying. Do I think it needs to be a combination of things? Yes, and that's hopefully what we'll bring up in this combo as well. Okay. Oh, Lord. Whew. Okay. Right. I think progressivisms have always forced to ride for centrist Dems. Yeah, who are terrible, right? The progressive DNC are unforgivable and are not, they're not socialist at all. Like, they're not even Soc Dem, you know? They're terrible. They're the Gavin Newsoms of the world, progressive. I mean, like, good fucking luck, America. Gavin Newsom will be the next Democratic nominee. Marjorie Taylor Greene will be the nominee. I'm not joking. I think it's fed to broadcast. It's fed in its broadest use is behavior that undermines revolutionary opportunity. Don't do that. There is no material revolutionary opportunity in Britain at the moment. So the problem I have, you are right. The revolutionary opportunity is educating people. Do you educate people by being a fucking dick to them? No. It's so simple, folks. You know, I'm not shouting at you, Luca. It's more this frustration I have with people online who have seemed very... I mean, Twitch is a very different space, though, than a lot of other activism, which I'm sure folks who are involved in on-the-ground stuff kind of experience as well. Yeah, if Zohran Mandani fails, it's bad. It's bad, guys. It will lead to more reactionary politics. Not more revolutionary politics. it will lead to more fucking reactionary bullshit. And they're going to throw everything they can at him. Let me take a quick look at this. Announced his intention to keep the police commissioner at the helm of the department from a debate stage last week. Has not directly spoken. I haven't had a private conversation with her. Well, it seems like it is an appointment that he can make. So if that's thank you. I mean, UK Garage is fucking incredible music, and I'm sorry, you motherfuckers in America didn't get this fucking. This is the shit I grew up with. Newsom is absolutely terrible. Yeah, but they think he's progressive. Like Americans, Doggo, Americans think he's progressive. He oversaw a 25% rise in homelessness. And they're like, oh my God, he's going to save us from Donald Trump. Like, look, people who are committed to the Democratic Party cause, there's no point. There's no point. There's no point. Let them cook. They're terrible at what they do. They're the Andrew Cumos of the world, right? They're terrible at what they do. So leave them. Just don't waste your energy with them. We need to convince people who aren't so ideologically blinded by complete bullshit, you know? The Tish stuff, I think, was calculus, and it likely won't last. Well, I mean, I'm pretty comfortable saying I think this is if this is what's happening, I think it's a pretty fucking bad decision to make. He has this is a material problem. I don't mean that in a Marxist sense. It's just in a real sense. Here's a real problem in NYC insofar that crime. So whilst homicide rates are massively down in NYC, petty crime, robberies, crimes of poverty, let's call it what it is, are up. Now, we know the long-term solutions to addressing these crimes and keeping them as low as possible, which then limits the powers of the police, or should limit the power of the police around it and stuff, right? Because they're less needed. I think, here's my hypothesis. You're going to see a bunch of Republicans literally ship people into NYC to cause a problem. Because Republicans literally hate people, and they've done that already. And I think Zohran is trying to get the police on side so he can solve that problem. And that's sad. Because that's using the police then to solve a social issue. And I think that's a miscalculation. I don't know that. He's not even taken office. That's my current reading of it, and I think that's... You could see that happening in the campaigns when he started working with the cop unions and stuff. It would be shit if that came to light, We'll have to see. The instigation is well within the Republicans' modus. This instigation is well within the Republicans' modus operandi. Hey, El, lovely to have you here. So nice and late as well. All the way in Singapore. I do love how we have an international chat as well. So yeah, folks, do just try and be nice to each other. I did see folks being okay, in chat and stuff, but I just come on, be nice to each other. And I have to put my foot down a little bit sometimes with people, Please don't talk to each other in this chat in a way that you wouldn't talk to one another in real life. And I'm going to be a bit more assertive about this. I maybe was a bit more lackadaisical with this, but we know that leftism is the fucking fight for humanity. It's the fight for all of our well-being and the well-being of our children and our children's children and our children's children and generations far in the future. And the way we conduct ourselves here will translate into the way we conduct ourselves in activist spaces. And if you have disagreements with someone, please explain to them what it is without referring to, like, you know. What I'd say is the way Fed behavior, when it can be useful in Twitch, is if you're saying something that can get someone's account banned, anyone. So someone in chat being like, I'm going to Luigi, a motherfucker, or something, you know, I have to mod you if you say that. Your account might be taken down and my account might be taken down if that happens. Both of those things might happen as a result of that, right? So just chill the fuck out on one another a little bit, you know. That's why you need a specialized department for a mental health crisis, which is 60% of all police calls. Yeah. There is a great increase in NYPD officers. It's going to reach 40K, and the department is bankrupt morally and has unsustainable operations. Yeah, I mean, there was a capitulation to cop forces that will continue, and I feel pretty comfortable disagreeing with that. The problem is, and this is a question maybe for a different time, about cops. How do we actually challenge the police state? I think that exists outside electoralism anyway. So I'm not surprised to see him do that. And it's bad. Fed posting is the only usage that still has its meaning. Yeah. Adams will 100% shit the floor on the way out. He's got a bag to do. I mean, yeah. Like, literally, folks, I feel if you are I'm a socialist, but if you're a communist, I would just like, and I'll listen and I won't be rude, I promise. I would just like to understand why you think Zohran Mandami failing works for the revolution's favor. If I can put it that succinctly, because I don't read that. Being in a country where we've had setbacks on setbacks on setbacks of things that are called socialism, whether they are or not, it doesn't fucking matter, lads. It doesn't matter. And folks, we have very extreme far-right government 3 years away in this country. It's really scary. I will probably lose my job at that point. I won't have anywhere, the entire aid industry and charity industry that I work in will be gutted. I won't be able to get disability. I might have to leave the UK. And I know a lot of folks in chat are like, I'd love to leave and I can't. They got no options to do that, you know. So I guess America is a different context, so I'm open to hearing it. But if someone can answer that question well, I will change my opinion. But at the moment, that's my opinion. It is important to have a victory and for people's quality of life to improve in NYC so that all of us can go out into the world and have better and more meaningful conversations about socialism. How do we do that? All of us as activists, we work either with DSA or PLS or whatever revolutionary group you want to work with, build dual power, focus that around mutual aid at the moment in a time of crisis when people really need it, and we try to maintain education for people, and we try and maintain discourse for people as well. Okay, folks, so we have the talker here as well. The Zohran needs to win not just electorally but materially. Exactly. Especially in NYC, the NYP. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they have military infrastructure as well. And folks, the great thing about the speaker that we're bringing on today is someone who won't bullshit us, someone who gets this, someone who's not going to be afraid to have these conversations. In the way that we need them. Okay, just give me 1 second, folks. I'm going to bring the person in. I will bring this up. Okay, hold on. As I'm setting it up. Ooh. Just give me a second, I've just got to sort something out. Very loaded question. I doubt the communist feels its own future. It's about understanding why he will fail and what can be done to capture the people's desire for socialism. Where do people have a desire for socialism? I'm sorry, I really feel I look at the world and people have a fucking fervent desire for rabid revolutionary politics in a very, fucking hell, fuck my brain, reactionary politics, and that really worries me. Yeah, intro! Hello! Hello. Welcome in. Can you hear me? Discord is not detecting any input from your mic?
Okay, what? I hope I'm here.
Hello, you can hear me now. Hi. Welcome in.
Hello, hi.
Which we see expressed in the report for Zohran. I agree with you there. I guess we all need to agree to capitalize on it. Okay. Welcome in. Thank you so much for taking your time, Citri, today to, I know you're super tired after traipsing the streets of New York City, campaigning for Zohran to spend some time with us. I think folks here are quite excited to listen to stuff. Should be a good chat. We've got an hour, so let's crack straight on. Could you please give folks just a little introduction about yourself?
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for doing this. My name is Mubashir, and I'm a Democratic Socialist. I'm a member of New York City DSA, and I've also was a field lead for Zohran Mamdani's campaign for South and Eastern Queens. It's a pleasure to meet you all, and I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Fantastic. Okay, I'm just going to put some super relaxing music on in the background. I had some very ridiculous, over the top.
Oh, how cute!
Zohran mix, you know. Okay. So if we start then. People are saying thank you for being here. I don't know if you can see chat as well.
1 second. I actually don't have your stream open, but
no,
I'm
what,
opening it now. I plead the fifth.
No, it's fine. Don't worry. There are a couple of questions already, but I'm going to leave them to where I think it fits in the kind of questions that we discussed already, which is, could you, outside of the fact that obviously you've been focused on becoming involved in the Zohran campaign in New York City, which was successful. Congratulations to everyone involved in that campaign. From a British perspective and a European perspective, it was great to see more progressive politics take place. The fact that America's failing, dropping the ball so hard, is one of the few things that Europeans at least can laugh at, whilst we are also dropping the ball incredibly hard and slipping towards fascism as well in our own individual way. But it was great to see the win. Outside of that, and maybe in addition to it, could you tell us about your kind of general political ideas and strategies, including, I guess, why you chose to commit to the Zohran campaign and what you think is important beyond the campaign?
Thank you so much for that question. I'm more than happy to answer. I think the best way to describe my political ideology is that I'm to the left of even DSA. We have our own political factions within DSA, and a lot of those political factions do work together for a common cause. I'm in the faction where I represent the far left, the Communist Caucus, because I consider myself a communist. And my political ideas and strategy, they revolve around community solidarity, mutual aid, collective care, and abolitionist work. So it's basically the type of politics that builds relationships, it builds community, and it basically enables people to trust us as individuals and as an organization. And the reason why I thought that this was appropriate to come to Zoran's campaign was not because of this election, but the desperate diasporas that he was able to unite.
Mm.
He united various communities, especially in our South Asian diaspora. I am
Mhm.
South Asian, and I have never seen a combination of Pakistanis, Nepalese, Indians, Bangladeshi all in one group. To
Mm.
see that was not just a campaign in itself. Zoran's election created a community. It created a bunch of people that was united for a good cause, and we built a lot of relationships from that, which I think politics should represent. Politics should be able to create positive futures. Politics should represent a great good future. Importantly, politics should be goddamn fun.
Yeah.
We should not be fucking excuse my language. Can I cuss?
Yeah, you can fucking cuss,
Um
mate. Don't worry. You're
we
fine.
cannot we cannot fucking hear about the end of the world 24/7. We need some
Mhm.
positive enforcement and a vision that comes out of this.
I agree. Is this so? I'd heard there's a couple of black and brown streamers who I watch who have covered Zoran from that particular sort of basis, reflecting on the idea that particularly in his like really early years as a campaigner, he was out in the streets with a lot of communities of color, like you said, predominantly at the time actually South Asian like communities in NYC. And they were really like the hardcore base to begin with. Am I right in thinking that like that's where kind of the I guess the along with his strategy of like going to the street and interviewing people, which I've seen as well, um, he basically came from he came from like the grassroots, and in this instance, a very particular like community of people.
Absolutely.
Awesome. That's good to know because I've heard some of the people who are on Twitch speaking about the DSA, some of their criticisms, and I don't know because you're obviously not white yourself. I don't know how you feel about this, but their criticisms of the DSA is sometimes it's like as an organization, it sort of jumps in on things that are already there and is like, yeah, we're this organizing like wonder power, and it's like, wait, no. Um, to quote Jason D100, who's a streamer on this platform, who I think you'd like. Said no, this like the Zoran like campaign was started by like Asian aunties and stuff, you know. So like whilst the DSA was integral, it's like no, you have to recognize like the origins of this being something that came from a lot of community spaces, you know, which is maybe also why people, like you said, people are a lot more passionate. The equivalent we have in the UK is people like Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana, and even Zach Polanski in the slightly libbish, but I still like them, Green Party in the UK, who they come from a different background where it's more like you spend time with people, you're spending time with communities, and you just kind of speak a different kind of political language there as well, right? It's a different political apparatus. It's a different kind of conversation you have. So yeah, that's some of the criticisms I've heard. Do you share any of those criticisms yourself within the DSA, or has your experience been different?
In all honesty, I don't share those criticisms
Mhm.
because it's implying that we didn't mold Zoran's political identity.
Mm.
A lot of his policies, a lot of his communication, a lot of his platform comes from advisors from our factions.
Mhm.
I mean, from our organization. So
Mhm.
I don't really agree with that criticism because DSA is not just Zoran's home; it's his political identity.
Mm. And
And
it has been
it
for a long time, am I right? Like much longer than just this recent election. He's been a member of the
yes,
DSA for a long time.
he's been a member of DSA since 2017, before he even gained citizenship. He participated in a lot of DSA platforms. He was a field lead, a field organizer for several campaigns. So I would say, I dare say that without DSA, Zoran would not be the individual that he is today.
Mm.
So I would not take away from the impact of
Mhm.
DSA as an organization and imply that DSA had no impact on his ability to communicate with other diasporas, because all of his ideas, all of his beliefs We gave him a political home for that, and we molded that identity for him.
Okay, it could equally be like a combination of both of these forces combining, you know, to become the kind of unique political identity that he's being sort of characterized with, at least from that I see from outside, which is he's a bit more. He seems to me to be this person who is coded as someone who is more from the community, as opposed to like we have the phenomena of careerist politicians in the UK as well, right? You know, who are just incredibly sleazy and just have a speak in focus group talking, as opposed to trying to work out good messaging around socialist issues, which I presume is the DSA approach to campaigning.
Yeah, I would like to take into that because I do understand that point of view, but I would like to be cautious of that because a lot of our Muslim communities do also come from the democratic establishment, or they're not that well organized. So they don't have that development of political identity as Zoran has. I do
I see.
acknowledge those criticisms, but it's not easy to create such a distinct political identity, and it's not what I'm saying is it does contribute from the fact that he is part of the diaspora, but our organization was able to create his unique identity to be able to connect and resonate more because a lot of our Muslim communities and South Asian communities, they weren't this organized before. We have never organized as a collective this well. And the first, and this is not a criticism of our communities, it's just unfortunately the reality that we were never this politically organized as in comparison to, let's say, Christians, Jewish people, where they have political identities, but they're more organized in capacity as a collective in comparison to that South Asian identity in politics. But with this election, Zoran proved that our identities as South Asians, as Muslims, has political sway and political power. And to a lot of people, it felt euphoric because a lot of Muslims I spoke with felt like it was hopeless or we didn't have enough political power to change anything.
Is it because there is a very particular unique brand of Islamophobia in the US? Of like, I mean,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, it is. It's because of the Islamophobia. Zoran said this in one of his videos, but he said, I like you, son, but I don't think you should run as a Muslim because running as a Muslim means that you're going to be risk of your political identity and you're not going to be able to be electable. Some people actually think that being a Muslim constitutes that you're not electable in the United States, which I
Well,
don't agree with.
I mean, and also they were wrong, clearly. You know,
Clearly,
so
clearly.
yeah, I can imagine at an interpersonal level, that would be an incredible. I guess I'm envisioning seeing like a queer person, you know, who was a proud socialist, become very popular and win, or let's say the equivalent actually is a trans person in this country, in the UK, I mean, because I think it's trans women who are particularly vilified in the context in the UK. And it would be very like, yeah, like fuck you, actually. No, we can have, I know it feels sometimes like very reductive, but you are right in that it's not just, oh, this is identity politics, particularly in the case of what we're speaking about here. It's about the communities that are being represented in this conversation. And a part of the problem with, you know, I did a stream the other week about the guy, Platner, who had the Nazi tattoo and was trying to explain, like, yeah, trying to explain, like, why there is such a problem with this guy and why it's not okay, like, in any capacity to, like, and why no one should fall for this bullshit. And it's because it means, like, everyone behind him and the politics that he's embodying are fucking white supremacy. Like, deeply. It's very clearly deeply patriarchal and deeply white supremacist to me. Like, he had a fucking Nazi tattoo. Do you know what I mean?
I know. I completely understand, and unfortunately, I'm going to say this because it's he is a dues paying member of main DSA, but he's not publicly putting that out. So I
Really?
really feel, yes, I feel for main DSA because main DSA has to deal with a lot of situations with Graham Plattner, and I certainly don't want to be in their situation right now.
I mean, good luck. Platner is not baby. I mean, let's leave Platner. Let's leave Platner because we'll go down a fucking rabbit hole. I can tell. Fair enough.
Absolutely, my apologies.
No. My apologies. I am a sick human being and I also have ADHD. So, the next question is, could you please tell us about your specific role in the Zohran campaign and what you think was critical in terms of how campaigning worked and the messaging of campaigning, and why you folks won.
So basically, I started volunteering for the Zohran Mamdani campaign at March during the primary.
Mhm.
And I basically canvassed the neighborhoods of Ozone Park, Jamaica, Richmond Hill, and St. Albans and all of these regions. These are all neighborhoods that are dominated by people of color of the South Asian community and the Black community. And I was so euphoric at the time that I actually canvassed almost everywhere in Queens. I went everywhere. I traveled in places I have never been to in Queens, such as Hollis, Queens Village, all of that. Then I transitioned into becoming a field lead because several of the field leads in the campaign recommended that I should become one. I had like 9 recommendations of people saying I should become a field lead.
Cool.
So I decided to become a field lead for Zohran Mamdani's campaign. And part of the conversations that we had, there was a lot of Trump and Mamdani voters in the neighborhoods I went. We had a lot of people that voted for Trump in the beginning, but voted for Mamdani. And one of the reasons why that they voted for Mamdani is because they felt like he was the anti-establishment candidate and he represented change.
Mm-hmm.
And including from my own neighbors, because a lot of my neighbors I had known from since childhood also voted for Trump. And for me, that kind of realized that, oh God, these people are just desperate. These people are literally desperate for some form of change, and sometimes they think it's better to destroy it just to see some form of change. It's honestly sad because it represents why we need leftist politics, and centrist is bullshit. Centrism is bullshit.
Centrism is death. Seriously.
It's death, yes. It is complete death, and it literally proves itself in this election. And I remember Zoran's Black support was not that strong in the primary. And when I was getting out the vote in South Ozone Park, because there were a lot of Black voters, I actually spoke to a Black voter that said, you know, I don't think there's no point in elections. Zoran doesn't necessarily need my support, and I don't think there's any point in participating in elections. So this is what I said. I said, can you tell me why? I'm honestly very curious why you said that. And he said, well, have you heard about the lynching in Mississippi with Trey Reed? He got lynched, a young Black student in Mississippi, and our communities have been suffering a lot. All the corporations have all the power, and the elections just feel rigged. It doesn't feel like there's any point because our communities are tired. And
that person is not wrong as well. Sorry to interject, but that person is accurate with their analysis. Like, in terms of, I don't mean the Mamdani analysis, but I mean conventional candidates do represent corporate interests. So yeah, we shouldn't treat these people like fools. You know, I'm not accusing you of that. I just mean in general to the audience. Like,
no,
that
that's
guy's
a good
spot
point.
on. He's spot on.
That's a good point, because that's the problem. We have to stop thinking with these people from an elitist framework. That is something that we have a habit of doing, and you're right. And what I told him is, you know what, sir, thank you so much for the conversation. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to ask you to vote for Zohran Mamdani. I'm going to ask you to tell me your story and listen to why I think I want to participate in the political process. I am reminded of Malcolm X. I am reminded of Martin Luther King Jr. I am reminded of Rosa Parks, who worked so hard to get where they were, where they even had to suffer jail, assassinations, or things that you would never expect would happen in this modern day. And I told them that if these people can make a future that was more positive for us, then I believe we can as well. I believe we can push ourselves to do that. And the Black voter said, you know what? Thank you so much for listening to me and not making me feel like shit. Give
Mm.
me the lit. I will consider voting for Zohran Mamdani.
Mm-hmm. Do in the conversations you were having with people on the doorstep, because we have both spoken prior to this conversation and agreed that, like, thank you for the follow, Radar. Have both agreed that the electoralism is only one tool in every leftist should have a huge arsenal of tools at their disposal. Obviously they will be limited by their obligations in life and their abilities and disabilities and intersecting needs and stuff, but within that framework still people should be focusing in a couple of key areas that we've spoken about before to expand, I guess, what being left wing is, and we'll focus on that in a little bit. But with that kind of wider picture in mind, how do you did you use the term socialist on the doorstep with people? If you did, why? If you didn't, why? There's no criticism. I'm just interested to hear what these kind of conversations were like. Or did you think it was more of this process of trying to, like you said, like listen to that guy who was accurate as well, by the way, like being like a bunch of politicians, a corporate, like, sellouts who are overseeing the lynching of communities of color. Like, that man is right, he is right with his political analysis. um, did you use the term socialist? Did folks use the term socialist, or was the concept of socialism used in a different way?
So basically, on the campaign trail, we didn't use the term socialist.
Mm-hmm.
But people have heard that he was a socialist when we
Mm-hmm.
talked with
Of
them.
course, yeah.
They've heard of the terminology, they've heard of who he was, and we had some people that dismissed us because he was a socialist. We had some people that talked to us saying, you know what, I don't care if he's a socialist, he's running on policies that can actually make my life better. So I might as well vote for him.
I mean,
So
that's called
we
socialism,
didn't
but yes, but I'm with you. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, again, I understand, but the thing was is that this is not to insult the American electorate, but we're combating several years of propaganda with capitalist narratives,
Oh, yeah.
and people are slowly breaking away from that, and
Mm-hmm.
we want to give them room to form their political ideologies outside of capitalism. They're
Yeah,
starting to gain some form of class consciousness, but
consciousness.
it will
Yeah.
take time.
Did you use the term class actually on the
Yes, we did.
doorstep? Yeah,
We
that's really
did. We used working
interesting.
class a
Yeah.
lot.
Yes, but this is the thing, right? I find, because I spend a lot of time on stream speaking about politics in a very like particular way, which is trying to combine like my academic background with my working background, with the fact that like it's a stream where we have a slightly different type of conversation. But like when I meet like normcore people, I'm often finding stand-ins to say the thing I want to say that make it accessible for someone. And weirdly, I mean, I'm British. We use class more, I think, than Americans. Day to day, there is culturally we have a very big, I guess, identity around class. Um, but it's interesting you were able to use the word class a lot. So socialist came up, but wasn't like aggressively used. But then class is the thing. In some ways, I think that's more effective because
Yes.
it's the same thing for a start, but without, like you say, the Red Scare propaganda, of which
So
you
part of
folks
this
have. Sorry, go on. You have decades of dealing with, but sorry for interrupting. Go on.
No, not at all. Thank you so much for the conversation. This is really important. I just wanted to add on to it where for us, we think class is a much more powerful narrative to bind socialist politics because socialism is class-based politics.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is the general electorate, when they think of socialism, it's the dirty word, or they think of the communist Red Scare, or they simply have no knowledge of it. Mostly it's lack of knowledge, I'll be blunt. It's mostly lack of knowledge. But in order to avoid the propaganda tools that a lot of billionaires have been doing, because a lot of billionaires have been having the habit of making television ads that conflate socialism with communism,
Mm.
we have to use the term class as a unifying term and at a term that can destroy the propaganda, because class is something that really breaks through the propaganda through a lot of people's brains.
Cool. Okay, thanks. Yeah, this has been a really interesting conversation as well. I'm so interested that if you feel comfortable at a personal level, how did you feel as a communist and like a dedicated, I mean, from our conversations prior, anti-imperialist, to participating in a campaign that you knew the limitations of as well, you know? Like, yeah, I guess, in fact, hold on, sorry, I've jumped ahead of myself. Let's go question 3 before, and we'll move on to that. Sorry. What should we expect from a Zohran mayorship when it comes to the lived reality for workers? What is the extent of his power to enact policies, and what are the limitations, and what can other politicians and political classes, capitalists and billionaires, you know, and the entrenched Democratic Party do to try and undermine him in this process?
So, one of the biggest challenges of his policies is, for example, let me describe the things he can first do. He can definitely do the rent freeze because that doesn't take any income. The rent freeze is basically he basically appoints a bunch of people to the rent guideline boards, which are the people that control the costs of our rent in rent stabilized apartments. So Zoran basically has the ability to appoint people in order to implement the rent freeze. But some of the limitations that he'll most likely have is that the universal childcare, the fast and free buses, and the not the municipal grocery stores. He can actually implement the municipal grocery stores by himself. Those two that he needs to fulfill in his agenda comes from the state legislator. The state legislator has to provide money on the city's budget in order for him to enact his agenda.
Okay.
And the problem is the state legislator has the entrenched Democratic Capitalist Party. So in order in yeah, it's challenging, but we actually have something called SIOs, which is Socialists in Office. We have about 9 people in the state legislature that are that are DSA members, so they can
Okay.
count on them.
Yep.
We also have our coalition partner, which is Working Families Party, that has helped us a lot in this election, some WFP members, but we need more. We need more pressure, or we need more democratic socialists in the office. And what we're doing as an organization is we're preparing more candidates to run in the state legislature, so he has enough allies to pass his budget and raise corporate taxes.
You feel that they'll block a budget at this moment, the current setup, they'll block a budget?
Yes, they will definitely block the budget.
Yeah.
Because Governor Hochul, unfortunately, my family had the displeasure of working under Governor Hochul. She's easily pressured.
She's horrible. She's horrific.
Yes.
Girl boss war crimes kind of vibes.
Pretty much, but the sad reality of her is that she's easily manipulated and she's easily a puppet, which means that she caves easily to pressure to a lot of corporate billionaires. And what we're trying to do with our time in DSA is basically create enough pressure that she caves, because she caves easily.
Okay, so when then are the state assembly elections?
The state assembly elections should be during midterms around 2026.
Gosh, so if the plan then would be essentially using his win to articulate to capitalize to other people on this win, we need you to vote for other DSA candidates down ballot. And then you would have to continue that to kind of get a wider political win in... Is it the equivalent of essentially... Is it a state assembly or a like city assembly?
It's a state assembly. So basically it's the state legislature with the state senate and the state assembly.
Jeez Louise, yeah, that's the difficulty. We have this is the like hard ceiling that we face when we elect in like Green in your party or whatever, like left-wing candidates in the UK. Is the if the budget is set by people outside of the left, they're like, fuck you, you can't afford it, and there literally isn't anything you can do at that point. Well, there is. I don't know if you know Momentum in the 70s in Liverpool. There is stuff you can do, but unfortunately, people aren't usually militant enough to do it. But anyway, so then, what are the limitations domestically? I think you have kind of explained a little bit, but then I think we can also expand on this, which is there's a question that someone has brought up in the chat that I'd like to bring up in a second as well. But within the context of imperialism, you say you're a communist, and some folks I've spoken to, myself included, were quite disappointed with Zohran's comments about like Cuba and Venezuela. It seemed very like unneeded. I know it was a bit of a media gotcha, you know. You need to call these people terrible, or we'll, you know, call you a Putinist or something, or whatever, you know. How do you? Is it just the real politics? Is the game you need to play, and you think Zohran doesn't think that, or how do you feel about imperialism within the DSA and within the different factions? What are the nuances that you have to work with and you have to campaign with?
So, to your viewers, I'll give credit. I need to mention that DSA is not just democratic socialists. We actually are the most organized leftists, where we have Marxist Leninists, Marxist, communist, Trotsky, like we all have various
The whole
different
rainbow.
factions and the whole rainbow. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. That's the term I'm looking for. We're the whole rainbow that's trying to navigate through a very complicated politics in the United States. And to your credit, after Zohran actually made that statement, he called our Cuba working group co-chair, Danny Valdez,
Yep.
who actually works to combat the propaganda with
Yeah.
communism in Cuba. And he actually called and apologized, and he said, "What should I do better? Can I say something better? I'm so sorry." He literally apologized in private, but we cannot mention that in public because, unfortunately, this is the reality of the fucked up politics in this country. But we are working better on how to better navigate that, and he's receiving assistance with the factions that are more trained in order to combat this.
So I would say, continuing this line of thought, here's my thought in the UK, and this is how I view anti-imperialism in terms of, I guess, at the moment in the UK, anti-imperialism is in a stage of communication. And what I mean by that is, so we are, I guess, dealing with a political reality where your party is being founded by a couple of people that I hate, who you hate as well, and it's funny that you know the nuances of British politics, but also Zora
Don't get me started. I've seen a couple of people that I hate in there.
Yeah, oh yeah, me too, and yeah, but then putting them aside, because we're gonna, some of us are joining a democratic socialist meeting in the UK after, in the Discord on Zoom, where we're going to be having these conversations, you know, and trying to fight the good fight for the UK side in the new party that's coming up. But we basically want, like, genuinely, I think that imperialism is death as well, you know. I know that you believe that as well, and that you are international with your politics. What's the best way of me asking this? How do you feel we progress anti-imperialism? Because my thinking at the moment is we are just in a phase of communication, because we need to get, I don't think that you can vote out imperialism. I think it's an entirely different phenomena that requires a very different kind of understanding of history and revolutionary forces, for instance, and you're a communist, right? So how do you think ever the two can meet? Do you think there is a space for someone like Zohran at some point in his political career to start talking about things from a better, more educated anti-imperial perspective that educates the wider population, and that's kind of a part of the process? Or do you yourself see that kind of organizing as a different phenomena entirely, like something that exists outside of formal electoral politics?
Excellent question. This is a very good question that I'm glad to answer. I would say that it would be outside of electoral politics because a lot of the neighborhoods that Zoran won during his election were neighborhoods that were originally considered moderate or have been politically disinvested. Part of the significant challenges is because of how large the country is and how New York City is. There are a lot of communities that are information deserts. Let's be real. There are a lot of information deserts. There are a lot of food deserts. There are a lot of people that are just not invested in politics and just vote on a vibe-based politics. And in order for us to address that, we as an organization, it's not dependent on Zoran. It's dependent on us as DSA to be able to counter that imperialist narrative because we have to be integrated in the communities that Zoran won, which we are trying. We're trying to expand and grow bases in the communities that he courted and trying to counteract a lot of the conservative and imperialistic propagandas that have been pitted against him because it's possible. But we need to do the collective effort ourselves, and that will require politics such as community solidarity, mutual aid, food drives, tenant organizing.
Sorry.
Like,
gosh, we've got a raid. Holy shoot.
oh my.
Hello, Sven, Sarah, Vegan Space. Welcome in. Hello from the German lesbian vegan nest. Thank you so much for the raid.
Hello.
What a great raid message. Darth, could you please do a shout out? Thank you so much. Welcome in, folks. Thank you for bringing your community over. I don't think we know one another. So welcome in. Hello, everyone. A pleasure to meet you. I'm Lesbian Hot Sauce. We have Citri with us on VC, who is a fantastic speaker. Thank you again, Darth, for bringing this this person on. I don't know your pronouns. What are your pronouns, by the way?
He, him.
He, him. For bringing him on and like talking to us about the campaign and how basically Zoran won and how that's, you know, good for progressive politics, but also we're talking very frankly and bluntly about the limitations and how we would like to expand on it. So I think the question that we were talking about is how we can communicate anti-imperialist messaging to wider audiences, because I think that that's kind of the kind of like phase that we're in at the moment is that's where I feel we are in the UK. But sorry, yeah, to go back, I had to interrupt you there. Sorry, people would have completely missed what you were saying because there's a really loud read message. So yeah, sorry, continue your thought. Thank you everyone for the follows as well, and thank you so much, Sarah, for the raid.
Absolutely, no problem. So basically, other forms of organizing are key to be able to counter that imperialistic narrative. As I said, community solidarity, tenant organizing, labor organizing, mutual aid, like these things are not just organizing that helps people. These are things that also counteract narratives about imperialistic power, capitalist power, about socialism being communism. And unfortunately, some of the challenges, I will be realistic, because we are an organization that has different factions, sometimes we conflict on what type of organizing constitutes a very effective organizing. And there are various factions within DSA that think that the electoral project is only the most powerful project to do. And that clash can create some kind of conflicts with our organization. I have to be blunt and truth about that, because unfortunately the reality of the left is that we can build something incredible, but we're not a homogeneous ideological organization, and that creates a lot of challenges on how to proceed.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I think all of us, people who are like extend the people who extend kind of solidarity to people in the global south, like immediately the second we do that, we get told, oh, you know, like, why are you coming to a political party and having that conversation? And it's like, where the fuck else do you want me to go? But also, like, we do need to have these conversations in every single space. I don't know how you feel. Thank you, everyone who's following as well, and welcome in. I don't know how you feel about this, but this is how I feel in terms of British organising. A part of this is I'm a bit older now. I'm almost 40, and like I have noticed a change in my way of thinking. I've kind of been quite like lefty for quite a long time, but I have started to think very long term in my way of thinking. I think I did. Yeah, thank you. I've started thinking very, very long term, and what I mean by that is like I think about the things that we can change. You know, things like rent, which I'm sure is the sort of thing that you kind of got behind when you were out on the streets knocking for Zohran, is wanting to help people with rent and stuff. And then simultaneously, when we extend our solidarity to folks overseas, who frankly, I try and communicate this to people, but like the Zohran Mandanis of the global south get fucking murdered. They get Allende. They get killed, guys. Like, that's what imperialism is. The second you were like, could I have like 1% more profits for my people from an American corporation, you get fucking murdered. And that is very challenging, and frankly, it requires the American empire to fall. How that looks and what that looks like, I don't know. And I think it's something for the future in a different time. Therefore, my role is to educate as many people and to help build as strong a political movement and force I can that is at its heart something that is anti-imperial and extends a loving and knowledgeable solidarity to our comrades in the global south. And my particular thing there is queer politics as well, ensuring that we are fucking radically queer and anti-colonial as well, because what is fucking colonial homophobia? But like, I don't know how you feel about that from your personal perspective and the kind of organizing you do.
Oh God, it honestly reminds me a lot of what we do. So in DSA, we have a type of organizing called Break the Chain, which is basically organizing to be able to have various locations like shipyards, offices to divest from Israel funds and Israel manufacturing. And part of the things that we did in education for Break the Chain was to be able to avoid the pink washing narrative, because what a lot of Israelis do is that they tend to pink wash the narrative that you're gay, you're going to get stoned, you're gay, Hamas is going to kill you, when in actuality there is a vibrant queer population in Palestine, and there are queer people in there that we need to extend solidarity regardless of their beliefs.
Yep.
And
100%.
unfortunately,
I will just say, sorry to add this, I feel like just to add, I 100% agree with you, but also my solidarity extends to the people who are prejudiced in Palestine. They still suffer from imperialism. That's not my battle. That's not for, you know, me to say or to cast judgment on people. And also, it's fucking Israeli bombs that are killing queer people in Palestine, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the phenomena of pinkwashing is unfortunately a phenomenon we have to deal with here as well.
Perfectly understandable. My solidarity also extends to those people because we unfortunately had to deal with a lot of queer Zionists in the election. They exist, unfortunately.
Yeah,
they exist.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Thank you for the follow. I mean, I feel like they're like literally betrayers to the gay cause. But I mean that like, how do you speak to these bougie people about homo nationalism and stuff, you know? And 9 times out of 10, it's very like rich gay white men, to put it really bluntly. At least in this context. I don't know what it is in other contexts. Or it is a weapon that's used by homophobes to be like, why are you defending Palestine, you know, when we know that they also hate queer communities? I'm super proud of this community here as well. We just did a fundraiser with a queer Palestinian streamer called Ray K, who I'm going to shout out now, and I highly encourage people to follow and share the love with. We did a fundraiser and we got $1.5 grand for a queer Palestinian organization. Because building solidarity is maybe key, building on what we're saying, right? A part of this is having conversations with people, educating, building solidarity. Do you find with some people, like if you go against someone who's just like super pink washed, brained, pilled, you know, there's some people that you just can't fight, right? Like, and you just waste your time. Do you feel that way? That's how I feel. And I'm like, look, I can't educate people that at their core like fucking hate people who are Arab. And I don't want to waste my time on that. Because that's all that that is at that core, right? They're like, I'm queer and I choose like my idea of queer liberation, which isn't the only idea of queer liberation. I choose to care about the fact that I can fucking like go clubbing and get married, and that's enough. Apparently, that's queer liberation. It's not, but you know, um, that's what I choose to care about instead of extending solidarity in a meaningful way to, let's say, queer Palestinians. So instead, I'll talk to people who are having a different kind of discussion or in a different way, because I feel like there are some people you can't educate. They have to come to you. You can't go to them. I don't know how you feel. Maybe I'm too black pilled, but that's how I feel.
So basically, from my experiences, unfortunately, you can't educate your way out of some people. They need to have specific factors in their environment that completely impact their train of thought and the way that they see reality. An example I can bring is just that a loss of class status. So to the folks that you said that are rich or like white, sometimes it has to take them losing that status and becoming working class in order to realize the struggles of fellow queer people that are also working class. Like, it's not just education. There has to be something that shifts in their environment that literally forces them to change their point of view. This is the unfortunate reality. People don't change that easily, and it takes a lot for them to change. And sometimes they have to experience tough circumstances in order for them to have that understanding and avoid the pink washing narratives.
I think you're right. There's a time when I was younger where I would have been incredibly dumb in terms of my political framing, but there are I guess there are some people you can challenge, and there are some people who are so like bought into a kind of liberal framework and are benefiting from it. They're the benefiting middle class. That it's just like there's like to a certain extent it's like there's no point, you know. These aren't our people. Let's not seek solidarity with them. And I think you're right. They need to have a kind of I don't even want to say come to Jesus moment, because that sounds like a really wrong sort of metaphor, but they need to have a kind of cold, hard material awakening sometimes. And all I'll say is, so I'm someone with quite a significant disability. I have an autoimmune disease. And I'd say that somebody I know recently who's incredibly wealthy has had a very big shift in their politics. And it's because they have become disabled overnight as well. And I'm like, okay, that's what it took then. And like, I feel comfortable saying that. I know some people wouldn't, but like, I know them because we speak in like a disabled space. So I'm speaking kind of person to person about slightly different things, but I've seen this change happen real time. And at a very blunt level, it's because they have unfortunately suffered extreme loss and got like no help at all for it. And I'm like, yeah, it'd be great to have a system that would. I'm obviously not like shouting. I'm not being an awful online socialist, you know. But I think you know what I mean. Like, haha, you're disabled now. Fuck you. You know, you should have been a socialist.
Permanently online because of disabilities. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like I obviously am extending like human solidarity with them as well, and then trying to be like, okay, so let's expand on your way of thinking and break it down. So sadly, I think you are right, and I think that there are some people that you speak to, and there's some people that you can't. So maybe our task is to educate the people who think they're left wing. In fact, maybe then the people who we need to focus on are the people who are like, oh yeah, man, I'm so happy that like my class are supported in New York City or in the UK or whatever. Let's say, um, but like Cuba's like a communist shithole, isn't it? Like, oh, what's that all about? And you're like, wait, no, we need to break this down. You know, do you know why there's poverty in Cuba at the moment? Is it A, the blockade, B, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of my current thinking is we are just at a place. I keep on coming back to this fact in my head of the fact that there was like 280 strikes, like labor strikes in the year leading up to the Russian Revolution. And I'm like 280, 280, and two of them were like mass general strikes, and the rest of them were like huge industry strikes. That's how mobilized the working class was. It was within the context of a war as well, right? Which makes it a bit different. But that makes me realize like how we are at such a different paradigm from that. And I'm like, okay, I guess we're at the point where people are just like communicating and deprogramming a lot of people's brains, trying to figure out how to deprogram people's brains from sitting there and saying something without even actually knowing what's happening in Cuba, for instance. I don't know, what are your
If
thoughts?
I'm, may I interject if you don't mind? If
Please
I'm
do.
being honest with you, I don't think it's just education. I think it's showing up and touching grass with them
Mm,
because a lot of these communities have been abandoned. They have been abandoned. We have been, I mean, I live in a neighborhood that has been politically disinvested for about 12 years. Like, Zohran Mamdani was the first mayoral candidate in 12 years that has came to my neighborhood and thought that our communities was worth courting, and the
mm,
votes were there.
mm.
And little do you know, my neighborhood voted for Zoran about 29 points. Like, it was a landslide. The thing that I also tell people is that you cannot just educate your way out of the populaces. You have to show up and build trust and integrate yourself with these communities because they have been abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
And the more abandoned they are, the more that they lose access to resources, the more vulnerable that they are to right wing propaganda, because
Mm-hmm.
right
Mm-hmm.
wing,
Mm-hmm.
no, far right, let's be real,
Yeah,
far right is a difference between some.
reactionary, hateful politics. Yeah,
Yes, reactionary, hateful politics. People are more vulnerable to those types of politics. The more vulnerable they are to their circumstances, the less
I
access
agree.
of resources leads to more desperation.
Mm. I think you're right, actually, and this is something that has been floating in the back of my mind. I live at the moment in a very rural part of the UK, in a place that's it's the reforms, so the right wing heartland, and I hear a lot of conversations in like the village when I go down to the village like market and stuff, because I live in farm country, about working class issues. And like I keep on stopping myself from having conversations with people, but I actually think I do need to start talking to people. I think I need to start trying to understand this more, and I think you're right. Like I'm hoping it's something that comes up in the strategy meeting later, but when I lived in slightly more like left-leaning cities like Sheffield, people's politics were often formed in like community kitchens and volunteer spaces and stuff. And that was the avenue for trying to have those conversations, was like you had a community kitchen hub that brought in as many disaffected communities they could to have like there'll be a fucking shit ton of mums with kids that needed good nutritious food. And I love cooking, I love being in the kitchen with people as well. Like it's so much fun like preparing feasts for people and then sitting down and talking. It's out. Yeah, anyone that can do it. I can't do it at the moment because of my health needs, but if you can do that, I strongly encourage everyone who's listening to try and get involved in that kind of side of politics. Um, I don't know, is that kind of what you mean? It's like trying to go out to people, trying to build third spaces alongside, I guess, more formal political movements where we are, I guess, trying to speak to these people that feel like they've been left behind.
Yes, yes, that is exactly what I mean. Because I'm going to say this with the utmost respect, because I have a lot of respect for Zara Sultana and Jeremy Corbyn. They understand how politics work. But the people that they're recruiting from their cabinet, especially Aden Hussein, he's not going to do
He's
that.
terrible.
He's not going to court those communities. And I say this from experience
Oh,
that,
he's awful. He needs to go for
you know,
every reason feasible.
it,
Yeah.
it's not just about awful. He doesn't have that depth of politics where he's going to court the communities that are left behind. And those communities are going to be won by reform.
Yep.
That's the unfortunate reality.
Because he's a landlord. So
Yeah, he's a
his
landlord.
relationship with his wealth on the basis of the conversation that we just had about who you can change and who you can't. I am not trying to convince a landlord to do anything. I'm trying to limit a landlord's power. End of conversation. I don't want to talk to them, you know? Um, there's too much vested interest in their own material wealth at the expense of a human's well-being. I'm with you. I am. All I'd say is Zara is making her opinion very clear. And we'll have to see. We're fighting at the moment for where the direction of how the party goes. Um, Another question then. I don't
Bless
want to
her
take too.
heart.
Sorry, love. Go on.
Bless her heart. I'm Pakistani, so as a fellow Pakistani, bless her heart.
She is awesome. It's great seeing a very vibrant politician be so like public about her anti-imperialism as well. We will see. She seems to come from the more like community kitchens and mutual aid side of politics, but you're right, Adnan doesn't. So we'll have to continue that campaign from within. But there is a question. So somebody brought this up in my chat. There is a commissioner apparently, NYPD Commissioner Tish, uh, who I don't know if you've heard this, but apparently
Yes.
they're a reactionary like Zionist, and they are the New York Police Commissioner. Apparently, he's considering, or he has an intention to keep her in the department. Um,
Unfortunately, we can confirm that that's true.
why? Why is he making that decision?
Because the problem is that the NYPD as an entity, as somebody that does do abolitionist work and as a communist, I don't like the decision. None of our people in DSA like the decision, let's be frank. We're not happy with it.
Yeah.
But the problem is that we understand the reality, because the situation that Zoran is trying to avoid is he does not want the NYPD to cooperate with
Yep.
ICE and federal agents, because the NYPD could possibly do that. So there were certain conditions that Zoran negotiated with Jessica Tish to keep her on the job.
Okay.
So it wasn't an easy decision. Jessica Tish was retained with specific conditions that Zoran placed. And additionally, Tish is not liked in the NYPD because she is very strict on discipline on the NYPD. And as they say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Right.
So unfortunately, this is the situation with Jessica Tish and Zoran Mamdani. And we're trying to do this as a method to not allow the NYPD to cooperate with
With
ICE
ICE.
agents, federal agents, and basically prevent them from harming New York City. It's very complicated, and I don't like the decision, but it's not an easy decision.
Just before you came on, I made a calculation and I said I think that he's conceding to this notion that like a bunch of outside forces will be used to try and disrupt the city. Like people can be shipped in, ice can be used, there can be a lot of problems that happen, and it sounds like I kind of was pretty close to the money there. And yeah, I would be very frustrated with that concession as well. And I understand your frustrations as well. The problem is I don't know how you feel about this, but I think again, like abolitionist politics is something that's not one person can fix. You can't vote ACAB if that makes sense. Like, so I think this is a bad decision on his behalf. I'm not sure where it goes. We'll have to see. I hope, at minimum, we have less ICE agents harming people, and I can understand your frustration of the kind of like negotiations that have had to happen here. That doesn't mean that like abolitionism in the DSA is stopped, though, does it? Like, I'm sure that
No,
yeah,
abolition is definitely not stopped, but I will be blunt, it has become a little bit watered down due to propaganda.
yeah.
Unfortunately, this is the reality of propaganda. The anti-crime narratives after 2020 has resonated with a lot of people,
Mm.
and we are breaking away from that, but it's going to take time.
Mm.
And Dark Narc
Thank you so
actually said
much,
something
Reeve.
that was very.
Sorry, go on.
It's okay. I just wanted to add on. Dark Narc made a very good point in your chat where he said it also allows Zoran to arrest Netanyahu if he arrives in New York. He needs the NYPD to do that, and Jessica Tish agreed to that.
God fucking damn.
Yeah, as I said, this is not an easy decision he made. There were a lot of concessions and negotiations that had to be made with Tish for this.
Holy shit. Including the UN.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it would happen, but if it does, could you imagine a single a single settler ever being held accountable? I don't know. I live to see it. I mean, this is a part of the limitations of electoralism as well, right? Yeah, I mean, when you say it, I understand that, but I mean, strengthen solidarity with the wider abolitionist movement as well. I guess I'll finish on that note.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bullshit talking point. No one there. Someone has said, but how would you arrest Netanyahu? Like, is there any kind of like law? No, the UN is not under immunity. It's
No,
under
there
vibes.
is. It's under vibes. There is technically no American law. It's actually the opposite. There is an American law that allows Mamdani to arrest Netanyahu. But the problem is that because of how Zionistic our country is, they ignore that law.
Right.
There
Yeah.
are laws that the United States can use.
Yeah.
But
It,
because
it
of how
connected to
corrupt.
the international arrest warrant, presumably. Thank you so
Yes,
much,
but
everyone. Sorry, we have a hype train. Thank you so much. I am not going to put on a hype train music just because we're in the middle of a conversation, but thank you. I appreciate Reeve for the gifties as well. Thank you so much for the subscriptions. Um, Sorry to interrupt you there. I also have to talk to chat a little bit
No,
as
it's
well.
perfectly understandable. I'm just gonna add off that
Hmm.
we'd have international and U.S. president to execute this. I'm gonna leave it up at that.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same in the UK. We're supposed to arrest, like, we should be arresting British citizens who've returned from serving in the IOF, and we don't because our government is completely complicit, and Zionistic as well. So suddenly these laws don't matter. Okay. As a part of um for people who are communist and more radical, is there an effective way that they can utilize the momentum behind the Zoran win to kind of try and translate and communicate socialist principles and ideas to other people, do you think?
Yes, we're already doing that through our time, the organization, and DSA's expansion projects because our chapter, New York City in particular, is divided by geographical branches. We have various branches where we organize in the specific region of New York City. And we're looking to expand beyond regions that Zoran has expanded with the electorate and being able to organize with those communities. Unfortunately, in order to take advantage of it for more radical politics, you have to show up in those communities and perform politics enough that builds trust with them, that that they see that your politics are effective and
Mm-hmm.
powerful.
I'm with you on that. Um, and the struggle continues and will do until probably we're old people as well. Yeah, that's kind of how I see the world now. Amazing. This has been a really interesting conversation. Thank you so much for discussing, I guess, the strengths and the limitations of the campaign and the win and kind of the wider movement. Um, is there anything you would like to kind of end on? I'm sorry I had to interrupt a couple of times. So I
No, no, no,
apologize
no.
for that.
Perfectly understandable. Nothing to apologize about. Thank you so much for allowing me to be in your stream. I am honored, and I hope that the answers I give can inspire your audience to further organizing. I know that DSA has a lot to do. We're not a perfect organization, and we are going to be divided on a lot of things because it's not just socialists. We are a large organization that's not homogeneous ideology wise, but we can goddamn organize and make things work.
You were telling me that some of the abundance crew are like trying to infiltrate the DSA. How?
Yes.
A, ooh. B, what the fuck's that like? As a human working in the DSA, are you just like, wait, hold on, like?
So basically, oh God. Ezra clients networks are actually infiltrating our organization, where we had a DSA endorsed candidate that was running for a state assembly district that was seeking our endorsement, filled out the questionnaire, attended our election forum. And literally 4 minutes before we started to do the pros and the cons of why we should endorse, I investigated her background and I found out that she was endorsed by an Abundance New York super PAC that is part of Ezra Klein's network. And the minute that I brought that up in the organization, her support instantly got lost.
Good.
It literally destroyed her support, and we decided not to endorse her.
Thank fuck. I'm glad that at least I don't know what it's going to be like with centrists who try to enter your party. We'll have to find out. But yeah, Ezra Klein, get off your fucking nonsense. But this is, folks, this is what like moneyed interests will look at the DSA and will be like, oh, they're like, oh my gosh, Zet, thank you so much for the subscriptions. 2 subscriptions. Thank you so much, everyone. They will literally be like, oh, the DSA is the new sexy thing in town with Zoran. Like, okay, I know this was before then, but still, it's gonna get even worse now. It's like, oh, how do we buy out the like the sexy alternative candidates who don't look like they're bought out, right? That's like money will try and follow this now, paradoxically. um yeah, ew.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone in a DSA around America, I guess, should keep an eye out. Did you literally just like Google the person's name or something? Or how did you find out that they were linked to that pack? So that others can do the
So,
same if they have any problems.
so I actually am connected with a couple of journalists. I built a network of journalists, and I actually texted one of them to ask anything about. You might as well look up her name. Her name is Sarah Botchu. Sarah Botchu is her name.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Oh,
actually asking
bugger.
a couple of journalists, like, can you search up this girl and see if she had any connections to any super PACs? Because I could have sworn that there was a super PAC that endorsed her in her city council race. And they told me, yes, she was endorsed by Abundance New York. And I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. That is
Yeah.
a red flag. That's Ezra Klein's network. And
Yeah,
when I brought
awful.
that up to the general public with my comrades, the line that was supporting Sarah Botchu literally went down. It literally decreased half of the line. Like half of the line went back to sit down and like, no, I can't do this. I'm not supporting this woman. this abundance thing is not what I like. Like, everybody in DSA hates
terrible.
abundance, but they keep infiltrating the organization.
But and they will continue to do. You're gonna have to be on your toes, you know, with vetting people. Gosh, I don't envy you there. Ew, you have to like lib check basically. Like they're the worst. Oh my gosh,
Oh
abundance
God,
is just
yes.
such fucking centrist liberal slop. Like I've seen people try to defend it and they say nothing. They say nothing apart from like zoning regulations. And I'm like, you're gonna build a political movement about zoning regulations. I mean, pop off, Queen. Like, this is what I mean about sometimes, unless they're trying to infiltrate your group, then actively push them out. But also let the, like, what's the idea of abundance? The idea of abundance. It's kind of like if a really problematic white rich woman who was materially actually kind of better from the current like imperial oppressive set was made like slightly uncomfortable by Trump's win, and also she's the head of the housing association and she fucking hates that there's poor people near her, became a manifestation in policies. And the answer to that was something about like zoning laws to create, you know, as we know, the market can ever be the problem with homes. The market can never be the problem. We just need to get rid of the regulation that stops the market. Then the market will give us everything in abundance.
Yes, pretty much self-explanatory.
Thank you so much, Emo Snail and Darth, for the bitties as well. I don't want to keep you too long. Thank you so much for coming. Congratulations again for the victory and solidarity with the upcoming struggles, which are many, plentiful, and bountiful for both of us. But it's been really great to meet you. I'm super appreciative of meeting someone who has been, thank you, Darth, again for introducing us, but is aware of the, I guess, the limitations, some reservations around the campaign, but also some celebration of the successes as well. And I hope that you can get more socialist candidates into the assembly, and you can get a budget passed in your favor as well.
Good due time. God bless. Solidarity to you all in the UK, and thank you kindly for giving me this opportunity. I am honored.
Thank you again so much. And enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you for taking time out for us.
You too.
Grand, I get that you, yeah, that was going to be my reaction. Also, I'm not really interested. Like, come on, I don't care. Why are you linking a Tory graph, like, article? And, like, if he had a bougie wedding, okay, he's a sock dem. So what do you expect, you know? I don't begrudge someone enjoying their wedding. Okay, that was interesting. Communism when no iPhone, no wedding. True, they're trying to steal your families. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you, guys. Look, my brain is super fucked. I barely held it together, guys. I am real sick. For those who don't know and those who no, it doesn't, Nom. It means that you capitulate to capitalist classes to a certain extent, and we as socialists want the working class to have the reins of power in politics. So sock them. It means that people's material lives improve a little bit, yes, and that there is redistribution as seen in Norway, which is a substantially more equal society than the country I live in. Does that in any way help, like, the real working class in Norway and stuff? No, the unions do. You don't need to dumb down shit. A, it's my stream, and B, like, we don't need to do that shit. Let's stop capitulating. We don't fucking need to capitulate to people, you know? You got money for a phone and Sky TV. Yeah. Look, folks, all I will tell you is the way to happiness is to manage your expectations. is to manage your expectations. Did I expect Shakira communist, luxury, gay, space communism from Zohran? No, neither did that campaigner. That campaigner who is an anti-imperialist, communist. But did they still find it that an important movement to go out and connect with people? And maybe that's the key, folks. I'm speaking to myself and British folks, so everyone. Shakira law, in fact. NYC. Wait, what's the concrete in New York? Has anyone please? New York State of Mind. Has anybody done a mix with Shakira? Oh, thank you. Yes, so that's in 40 minutes, and I need to eat and stuff. Brits. Oh, that's me. Hello. Brits. We. Empire State of Mind. Please, come on. Come on. No. Fine. Yeah, my brain's completely fucked. I barely held the thought together there, as you probably realized. This is life on chemo. I have an autoimmune disease. I'm back on chemo. I'm super appreciative for that conversation. I think this is the lesson. We continue to learn. We continue to, at least when we're having conversations with people, don't capitulate. We don't need capitalists to do shit for us. We don't need to fucking suck up to them and be like, oh, can I please have some more tax, daddy? Like, no! I want fucking workers owned fucking workplaces and shit as well. Yes, Ninja, I was, yeah. Thank you folks so much. Thank you for the raid as well. My brain has not been on it today, guys, at all. I'm sorry. But I will be back later in the week to discuss something. There is a Discord if anyone would like to join. Please welcome in. Make you feel real. Welcome in, join the lesbian community. Thank you so much, everyone. This is going to be up in VOD. Yeah, some of the answers, I guess, will not please people, like Grand. I don't particularly, I don't agree with the decision about the NY. I mean, I made my point about the capitulation to the police before, and I retain that now. I think that was it's a bad capitulation. So Brits, we're going to be in the Discord. I'm going to be on mute and off camera and stuff. We're going to join the Zoom for the Democratic Socialists of Britain. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. Stay committed, folks. Stay... keep on giving a shit about the things we care about here. We went to Hugo before, Tina, LB, James, Shonda Black, Denims. Let's go over to Denims. I've never raided Denims before. No idea. Landlord's mold about Zohran ChatGPT is killing people. Okay. Folks, the raid message is... Hold on. I mean, look, I'm trying to get the hot sauce message out there, folks. Come on. Be nice. Help the channel a bit. Help trying to champion, like, we bring anti-imperialist speakers on here and stuff. We try and educate around that. Let's continue that. Socialism with lesbian characteristics. Fuck my brain. That took everything I had, guys. Right. Here is your raid message. Please go enjoy yourselves. I'll be in the Discord, folks. I'll be back on hopefully Tuesday evening or Wednesday, whenever my brain comes back. Thank you guys as well. Thank you so much for the subscriptions and the support.